Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos. So, Manchester United are looking to complete a triple transfer swoop by bringing Jude Bellingham in, Joe Hugill and Mark Juardo, and of course they are all teenagers. Now obviously recent reports have suggested out saying that Manchester United have won the race for Jude Bellingham. Now, Jude Bellingham is going to cost us in the excess of £30 million. Some reports have said, it could cost us around £35 million, Jude Bellingham. Now, obviously, what's been coming out recently regarding Jude Bellingham, though, is totally contrast to what was coming out, was it a couple of months ago? Because a couple of months ago, it was stemming from the German press saying that Borussia Dortmund were emerged as the favourites to sign Jude Bellingham. And there's been quite a few other clubs that have expressed their interest in him. Now, don't forget, we have made a promise to Jude Bellingham if he signs for the football club this summer that he will immediately become a first team player. So we are willing to offer Jude Bellingham a senior role. We have been in for him for quite some time because Jude Bellingham is one of our priority targets. Now, don't forget, was it back in March, Jude Bellingham had visited our Carrington training ground because obviously he held talks with Sir Alex Ferguson, Ed Woodward, of course, held talks with his parents, and Jude Bellingham had given his own verdict, on his tour around Carrington training ground, and I think, he was really, really satisfied by it. Now, obviously, Jude Bellingham's versatility is very, very good, because you can play him on the left, you can also play him on the right, you can play him centrally, and I think he can even also operate in the number 10. Now, as you all know, this has been Jude Bellingham's first season in the senior squad with Birmingham. Obviously, don't forget he became the youngest player to ever represent Birmingham. He made his senior debut at the age of 16 years and 38 days. He's been playing persistently this season for Birmingham. I think he's played around 35 games in all competitions. Jude Bellingham, don't forget, is expected to sign his professional contract when he does turn 17 years of age, if I'm correct. I think he's 17 next month. He is 16 at the moment. His current salary at the moment is only 145 quid a week. So there you go. So we are emerged now as the favourites to sign Jude Bellingham. Obviously, up to this point overall anyway, spent the entirety of his career with Birmingham. He has been at Birmingham for several years, So I think he's going to cost us in the £30 million range as Jude Bellingham. So there you go. I think it did say as well, that we're not willing to offer him £60,000 a week. But, like I said to you, some players from the Championship who come to the Premier League tend to do very, very well. Prime example, we've seen that with Daniel James because, we got Daniel James from Swansea last summer, got him for £15 million and got to make an admission, Daniel James has been a revelation, and I'm surprised he's played as many games as he has done because I didn't expect him to play as many games to the extent, when he came into the football club. I've got to say, Solskjaer's been overplaying Daniel James throughout the course of this season. But yeah, it's looking likely, Manchester United are going to sign Jude Bellingham. Looking very, very likely indeed. So yeah. Now, obviously, Joe Hugill. He's another incoming player. Don't forget, we're expected to get Joe Hugill or Hugill, if I pronounce his name correctly, for around £250,000. And obviously, Mark Juardo from Barcelona. I think it said we're paying like 1.5 million for him in compensation. So Man United are looking to get them 3 players in and that. So that is the latest news on that. You saw my videos that I did yesterday. Of course, I give you the latest news on Jack Grealish from Aston Villa. Obviously, Aston Villa have confirmed that they will not lower their £80 million valuation. Even if Aston Villa get relegated, they still won't lower their £80 million valuation. So Aston Villa do remain ruthless over their valuation. The news on Jack Grealish was also stemming from Sky Sports, and Sky Sports is a very reliable source. But the question is, are Manchester United going to pay £80 million for Jack Grealish? I don't think he's worth £80 million. He's our number one priority target for the summer. We're hopeful that we can get Jack Grealish for around £50 million. I think Jack Grealish will leave Aston Villa, especially if Aston Villa do get relegated. Maybe even if they stay up, that still won't be enough to convince Jack Grealish to remain loyal with them. Don't forget, Jack Grealish, up until this point, has spent the entirety of his career with Aston Villa. He's been a Villa player since the age of 6. He's been their senior squad since 2014. And obviously, since he broke into their senior squad, he's become an integral part of their team. And got to say, it was key for Villa getting promotion to the Premier League. It was key for them progressing to the Carabao Cup final this season, and he's flourished under Dean Smith's guidance. Jack Grealish has got a contract with Aston Villa until 2023. We've been in for him for quite a while, and in our 2-2 draw of Aston Villa earlier on in the season, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer held talks with Jack Grealish over the possible move to Manchester United. You had Paul Merson coming out the other week insisting that Jack Grealish will leave Aston Villa 100% if Villa do get relegated. We're not the only club, though, that have been in for Grealish. Don't forget, back in the summer of 2018, Tottenham came very, very close to getting him. But we've already confirmed, that we would rather get Jack Grealish than James Maddison, because James Maddison's also been linked to a move to Man United. And we give around 2 or 3 main explanations, why Grealish would be our preference over Maddison, because cheaper solution, more versatile and that. Grealish can play as an attacking midfielder and he can also play as a winner. Grealish is only at the age of 24. He's only the age of 24. Don't forget, back in March, he had that incident with his £80,000 Range Rover. And obviously, reflect on the incident, he'd been obviously fined £150,000 and, he'd made a public apology. And obviously, after the incident, that put Jack Grealish's move to Manchester United in doubt this summer. And I think he'd attend like a 4 a.m. party. But yeah, so we're looking to get a deal over the line for Jack Grealish. I think, regardless of whether Paul Pogba stays or goes, we still want to get Jack Grealish on the board. Yes, we're doing that. But Villa have said they want £80 million for the player. Obviously, as well, on my videos yesterday, I obviously give you the news on Corentin Tolisso from Bayern Munich, because we are seeing him as a replacement for Paul Pogba if Paul Pogba does leave the football club. So I already give you the latest news on that. Also, too, yesterday night, I give you the news on Moussa Dembele from Lyon. Obviously, a lot of positivity has been coming out regarding Moussa Dembele. I read it in the Evening Standard, and they've said that, we've agreed a fee in the region of £62 million with Lyon for Moussa Dembele. Obviously, Moussa Dembele did reveal that he wants to come to Manchester United in the summer. And he did say the other week he would find it hard to turn down a move to Man United. He'd find it really hard. Also, too, Chelsea have been in for Moussa Dembele. And like I've said to you, I would take Moussa Dembele at Manchester United because he's a prolific goal scorer. Not only that, he's proven in the Premier League, because when he was younger, he played for Fulham. Moussa Dembele, began his senior career with Fulham. And in his time with Fulham, he scored 19 goals in 64 competitive matches. He also enjoyed a good few years in Scotland with Celtic, scored around 51 goals in 94 games for them. And obviously now he's at Lyon. And Lyon is the third club so far in his playing career, and this has been his second season with Lyon. He's got 42 goals in 88 games in all competitions for Lyon, and he has got a contract with Lyon until 2023. So if Lyon gets 62 mil, they're going to make a £42 million profit, because Lyon paid £20 million to him from Celtic back in the summer of 2018 and that. But yeah, I'd definitely take Moussa Dembele at Manchester United. I also give you the news on Saul Niguez, didn't I, yesterday from Atletico Madrid. Again, this was stemming from reports in Spain, but it was actually in the Evening Standard saying that Saul Niguez to Man United is practically done, and it says we're set to complete the signing of Saul Niguez. Reportedly, we're going to get Saul Niguez for around £70 million. So actually, we're going to get him for like half, than what his release clause is, because his release clause is like 130 odd million pounds. Don't forget, we already confirmed that we're not willing to trigger his 130 odd million pound release clause. But like I said to you, due to the financial issues with the coronavirus pandemic, like I said, players are going to go for a lot less than what they're worth. So this is what it says: we're set to complete the signing of SWOO0 Gears. Like I said, he's got a contract with Atletico Madrid until 2026. So still got a good 5.5 years left on his contract. Back in 2017, SWOO0 Gears had signed a 9-year contract with Atletico Madrid. And this is where, the release clause got put into the equation. But SWOO0 Gears has been Atletico Madrid for several years. I think he spent the vast majority of his career with Atletico Madrid. I think he's been at Atletico Madrid since 2008, so this has been his 12th season now with Atletico Madrid. I think he's made around 384 appearances. He's in all competitions. Can play as a defensive midfielder and a central midfielder. When he was younger, SWOO0 Gears was actually predominantly centre half, and he is only in his mid-20s. I think also too, Manchester City have expressed their interest. That's another player we're seeing as a replacement for Pogba, is SWOO0 Gears. So there you go. So the news on all of that, don't you? The news on all of that. And, like I mentioned yesterday, and I think, a lot of other Manchester United fans would have updated you about it as well. A lot of other Man United fans would have updated you. I think, we can enjoy the perfect summer transfer window. I really, really do. Because we've already revealed our plans for the summer transfer window. And I think Solskjaer, has got a lot of confidence going into the summer transfer window. But it's going to be interesting to see how he approaches the summer transfer window. Obviously, don't forget, recently Fred has given his wishes ahead of the summer transfer window, and he's actually instructed Solskjaer to sign Brazilian players. Because let's be honest, we've only got 2 Brazilian players in the squad at the moment, and that's Fred himself and Andres Pereira. And I think Fred's actually the 7th Brazilian player to represent Man United. So we haven't got a long history, have we, of Brazilian players. But I think Solskjaer still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British talents to Manchester United like he did do last summer. So let's just put that into the equation. I think a lot of people do like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy. But yeah, and obviously, you had Solskjaer coming out the other week, making a key transfer statement, saying that we will enjoy a different transfer window, to the ones that we've enjoyed, to the recent transfer windows, that we have enjoyed and that. But I think, this coronavirus pandemic, we could be the most beneficial team out of it all. Because obviously, what are Arsenal going to spend this summer? They've got players taking wage cuts. Chelsea, what they're going to do. I know they've got Hakim Ziyech on the board of Chelsea. I know that. He's going to be joining them in the summer. Chelsea got him for around 30 odd million pounds from Ajax. Also, to Man City, don't forget they got banned from the Champions League for the next 2 seasons. They broke financial fair play rules in that. They have got the money, but they can't overspend, of course. Liverpool, David Einstein, who's a credible journalist, he said, Liverpool may not sign anybody this summer. May not sign anybody in that. Tottenham, they don't like spending money anyway. Daniel Levy does not like spending money. So I think, we can be the most competitive in this summer transfer window and that. And I think, reflecting on our transfer strategy for the summer, our top 6 rivals really, really do fear it in that. And like I've said, we've been criticised, in the last 6 or 7 years with how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've been criticised for overpaying for players and stuff like that. But I've got to make an admission, I really, really think we have improved in the transfer market under Solskjaer. What I mean is, Solskjaer's got the players that I wanted to recommend in. Also, too, you can say we have been a bit more sensible with our recruitment and that. And like I've said to Solskjaer does deserve at least a couple of more transfer windows. This summer, it will be Solskjaer's 4th transfer window in total as Manchester United manager, and his 2nd summer transfer window, because at the moment, Solskjaer has enjoyed 3 transfer windows at the football club. obviously, spent around £220 million on 5 players. Obviously last summer brought Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. And in January bought Bruno Fernandes and Odi Nagalo in. And they've all been very, very impressive. I just want to confirm as well, the signing of Bruno Fernandes has definitely saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job at Manchester United. It really, really hasn't. But we know that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be backed in the summer transfer window because Ed Woodward's already confirmed this. He's said on quite a lot of occasions this season he's willing to back Solskjaer. He's also assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe because obviously, earlier on in the season, Solskjaer was very, very close to getting sacked from Man United. He was very, very close to getting sacked. And obviously, then there was talks of Pochettino coming in. Also, there was talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in. I think, the only reason really Solskjaer is still here is because he is a club legend. But disregarding him being a club legend, you could arguably say he would have been sacked by now. And don't forget, Solskjaer has been at the football club 17 months. So he has been here now over a year. But he did reveal at the beginning of the year, Solskjaer, that he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period because it has been a transition period for us for a while. Let's be honest in that. But, like I said, I've been criticising Solskjaer this season. A lot of Manchester United fans have been criticising Solskjaer throughout the course of this season and that. But, like I said to you, he does deserve, more time at the football club. I don't know if Solskjaer is the foreseeable future for Manchester United. Give him another season. Doesn't work out next season, then I would get rid of him. I definitely wouldn't that. I have seen changes under the Solskjaer era, and I've also seen improvements, like I've mentioned, to what I saw like under the Mourinho era and that. The improvements I've seen is like Martial, he's done very, very well. Luke Shaw, Fred, Rashford, they've all done well under the Solskjaer era, but obviously under the Jose Mourinho era, they endured difficult times because Jose Mourinho's got a bad reputation with top players, like I mentioned. Also, too, I think he's changed of personnel. He's also changed tactics as Solskjaer. Don't forget, Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well. Don't get me wrong, there's still things that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does need to work on. Obviously, he needs to work out his best formation because he's been changing formation persistently this season. I think he's been advised as well to make a tactical change. So, these still things that he does need to work on, definitely in that. Don't forget, we are not getting a director of footballing, as you all know. That got confirmed a couple of weeks ago. We'd abandoned our search for a director of football after looking for one for 2 years because Ed Woodward was keen on recommending one in for, quite a while. And I did say when we was in for a director of football, I did say, didn't I? That's one of the structural changes that we do need at the football club and that. So there was quite a few names linked to that director's role, but I think the main explanation why we're not getting one in is because reflect on the impact Solskjaer's made, and Woodward's got a lot of obviously trustworthy in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that. So there you go. This is why we're not getting director of football in. But like I said, throughout the course of this season, there hasn't only been problems with the management, hasn't there? As there, let's be honest, obviously, we've been, criticising Ed Woodward a lot. Ed Woodward has received a lot of criticism anyway in the last 6 or 7 years. Woodward's been at the football club since 2012. Obviously, I've had a lot of doubts about the club's ownership, the Glazers as well. The Glazers have been at Man United since 2005 and, they've taken a lot of money out of the football club since they came in. I think they've taken over £1 billion out of the football club and that. So they've also been very, very accountable as well. By the way, I want to confirm that our players were at Carrington yesterday. I think they was there around 15 minutes before they left. That's been confirmed. Obviously, Rashford's been stepping up his fitness regime, which is very, very good because Marcus Rashford has been out of a back injury since January. I think it confirmed last week, that Rashford is around 80% fit because he has been visiting Carrington twice a week in the last couple of weeks as Marcus Rashford and that. So obviously, it's very, very good news. So it will be good to see Rashford back in action. Of course, we'll have Paul Pogba back in action as well because he's recently been in training as Paul Pogba and that. So there you go. So just want to confirm that with you guys. Like I said to you as well, we have made quite a lot of mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years, and it's one of the main explanations why we've been so inconsistent. Some people have said, we made a mistake giving Solskjaer the job permanently, we give him it too soon. We give Solskjaer the job permanently, reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager, because don't forget Solskjaer won his first 8 games. He won like 9 away games on the trot, and he'd won 14 out of 19 in all competitions. So reflecting on that, he got the job permanently, did Solskjaer. You can say there's players that we've brought in, that we shouldn't have got rid of. Prime example, I don't think we should have got rid of Romelu Lukaku last summer. You can say that's a mistake Man United made. We let Lukaku go last summer to Inter Milan for £72 million. So we did recruit the vast majority of the £75 million that were paid for him from Everton back in 2017 and that. And he enjoyed 2 years at Man United, but now he's doing very, very well at Inter Milan. You can say we made a mistake by getting rid of Ander Herrera last summer. He went on a free transfer to PSG after Ander Herrera did enjoy 5 years at Manchester United. So that's, mistakes we made. I think, there's some players' contracts that we've extended who we shouldn't have extended in that. So that's another mistake we've made. Also, too, Ferguson made one mistake by ever recommending, of course, David Moyes. So that's another mistake we made. You can say as well, we recommended Jose Mourinho in too late. We should have got Jose Mourinho after the Alex Ferguson era and that. So, we have, made quite a few mistakes. Like I said to you, Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. Obviously, we haven't dominated football since the Ferguson era because, of course, Alex Ferguson endured 26 or 27 years at Manchester United. Of course, longest serving manager in English football that there's ever been. Obviously, Ferguson won a total of 38 major honours. And of course, don't forget though, Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. So he came close to getting sacked. Good job he didn't get sacked, or, wouldn't have had any success at all. But obviously, since Ferguson retired in 2013, we have been playing catch-up because, we've had different managers with different philosophies. Obviously, we've spent close to the £1 billion range on players. And Solskjaer's our 4th manager since Ferguson era there. And obviously, Moyes went after 9 months. Van Gaal went after 2 years. Don't forget Wayne Rooney came out yesterday and said that we made a mistake by getting rid of Van Gaal. Don't forget Van Gaal gave Wayne Rooney the captaincy. Wayne Rooney said that Van Gaal is the best manager he's ever worked with and stuff like that. And he said Van Gaal should have been given a 3rd season and would have been much stronger. So that was Wayne Rooney's verdict on that. We did win the FA Cup under the Van Gaal era. And of course, Jose Mourinho, he got sacked after 2.5 years. Obviously, he did win the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season, did Mourinho. So, there you go. Obviously, Jose Mourinho's final game in charge was the 3-1 defeat to Liverpool back in December 2018 and that. We have recruited over 30-odd players in, since the Alex Ferguson era. Obviously, Moyes only managed to bring 2 players in, that was Fellaini and Juan Mata. Obviously, Fellaini's no longer at the football club. Fellaini was the first player to leave Man United under the Solskjaer era. Fellaini did enjoy 6 years at the club. We've still got Juan Mata here. Juan Mata's now into his 6th season at Manchester United. So, yeah, being long-serving player as Juan Mata. Doesn't really get in the team now, but when he does, he does make an impact. Van Gaal brought players like Depay in, Rojo, Darmian, Martial Shaw, who, of course, are still here. He brought Falcao in. I think, you can say he's one of the worst signings Man United have made. Schneiderlin, Sebastian Schweinsteiger. Louis van Gaal did bring a hell of a lot of players in, but there again, got rid of a lot of the players that we had under the Alex Ferguson era. Obviously, Mourinho, he recommended 11 players into the football club. He brought Lindelof, Bay. Bay was the first signing Mourinho made. He brought Delow in his final transfer window. He brought Lee Grant in as well. He re-signed Paul Pogba. He brought Lukaku, Mkhitaryan, Sanchez. Did you know Jose Mourinho? Ibrahimovic. Jose Mourinho brought a lot of players in. The vast majority of these players are Jose Mourinho because, like I mentioned, there's only a few that have left. Few of them that have left under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Jose Mourinho's players. So, there you go. And that, Like I said to you, we've got around, 8 or 9 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. So that's something else, we do need to address, sort out and that. But to be fair, a lot of players' contracts have been extended, since Solskjaer came in. Like I said, we was in a good vein of form, before the football season got suspended because we are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions. So let's just put that into the equation. Like I said to you, you already know the news on Jadon Sancho. Want to get Jadon Sancho on the board because Jadon Sancho is one of our priority targets for the summer. It remains uncertain, whether we are going to get Jadon Sancho. Owen Hargreaves does believe that Sancho can win the Ballon d'Or if he does come to Manchester United. David Ornstein, he's obviously, was speaking about Sancho the other day, and he said that Sancho will not be sold for less than £100 million because Dortmund have said they want £100 million for Sancho. We said we only want to pay £60 or £70 million, but neither of them figures are going to be enough to convince Borussia Dortmund to offload him. But Dortmund have come to accept the fact that transfer fees will drop in the summer. They've come to accept the fact. Don't forget Dimitar Berbatov gave his verdict on it, was it last week, and he said that Sancho would be better off staying at Dortmund at this moment in time rather than coming to Manchester United. But we are not willing to smash our transfer record for Sancho. Chelsea is still in for him, don't forget. It said last week that Chelsea are planning to sell 2 of their players to fund the move to Sancho, and they're hoping to generate around £78 million for their departures and that. Came out the other week saying that Sancho would prefer a transfer back home to London. If he goes back to London, he'll go to Chelsea because he won't go to Arsenal and he won't go to Tottenham and he certainly won't go back to Watford. Sancho began his footballing career with Watford, and he was at Watford for several years, was, Jadon Sancho. Of course, Watford sold him then to Manchester City for 500,000. He enjoyed a couple of years at Man City, did Sancho. But obviously, he had to leave Manchester City because he didn't get assured any first team opportunities at Man City, did Sancho. So obviously, then City sold him for around 8 million to Borussia Dortmund. And now Sancho, of course, is in his 3rd season at Borussia Dortmund. And, he's done very, very well. It's his 3rd season, so if Dortmund do sell him, they will make a huge profit on the player. They're hoping to make around a £92 million profit. Sancho's got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. Dortmund played Schalke the other day. Obviously, Sancho did have a calf injury, so he didn't start. But I think Sancho played the remainder of the I think he came on with was it 11 minutes to go or something like that. Jadon Sancho is predominantly a right winger, and don't forget Man United are in search for a right winger. Don't forget about that. Don't forget he said we're willing to offer Jadon Sancho the number 7 because obviously we have got number 7 vacant at the moment. And, Jadon Sancho's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford, but we've been working on Sancho's contract for quite some time, and we've also been in negotiations with his agent, like Fabrizio Romano broke out, earlier on in the season. And Dortmund are known as a selling football club because they have sold quite a few of their imperative players in recent years. Like Ousmane Dembele, Matt Hummels, Christian Pulisic, Aubameyang, Ulkwan Gundogan, Mkhitaryan, Shinji Kagawa. So yeah, they are known as a selling football club, are Borussia Dortmund. But, all them players have let go. They would have generated a hell of a lot of money for their departures and that. We also want Erling Haaland as well. He's another player that we want from Dortmund. He'll cost us a lot of money as well, will Erling Haaland. And like I said, it was a shame that we didn't sign Erling Haaland in January because it would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type signing, would Erling Haaland. And it was a cheap solution as well. He was available for £17 million. Don't forget Solskjaer and Ed Woodward, went to Norway to meet up with Haaland to negotiate a possible move to Man United. So it was a shame, that we didn't get him. But I think, if he becomes available, we will reignite our interest in Haaland. He has got a release clause of 60 odd million, hasn't he? I heard before that won't be getting triggered though until 2022. But yeah, Solskjaer has worked with Erling Haaland before and that. So there you go. But like I've mentioned to you before, there's a lot of players up and down the generations that, we've missed out on, who we came close to signing. Obviously, back in 2017, You know, we should have signed Ivan Perisic. We should have signed Griezmann. Obviously, you know, this was under the Jose Mourinho, but we didn't. You know, maybe there's a few players under the David Moyes era that we should have signed. You know, maybe we should have got Toni Kroos. Maybe we should have got Gareth Bale. Obviously, you know, under the Ferguson era as well, you know, there was players that we missed out on who we should have signed. You know, Ferguson, don't forget, went in for Alan Shearer. Don't forget as well, you know, went in for Aaron Ramsey in 2008, you know, before he went to Arsenal, but we didn't get him, but we came close to getting him, I think. So, yeah, so let's just put that into the equation as well. And like I said, around 6 or 7 players are going to leave Manchester United in the summer. I think, you know, we're going to get rid of Phil Jones. He's going to definitely go because Phil Jones can't get in the team. I think we're going to loan Smalling and Marcus Rojo out. We're going to get rid of them on permanent transfers because Smalling's out on loan with Rome at the moment. You've got Rojo, who's out on loan at Estudiantes. You know, we're facing a dilemma a bit with Smalling, but I don't think he'll come to Old Trafford. I don't think he'll come back to Old Trafford, but I don't know if Roma are going to get him permanently. I think Delors could possibly go. Angel Gomez will go because there's no signs of him signing a new contract. He's going to go on a free transfer at the end of next month, is Angel Gomez. Don't forget Chelsea and Arsenal have recently been in for him. Like he updated you yesterday, I think it did say we're going to loan out James Garner. We're also going to loan out to Heath Chong because their appearances have been limited at the football club as well as Angel Gomez's. Lingard, they expect him to go in the summer because he's probably the worst Manchester United player at the moment. Jesse Lingard. You know, I heard that up to 4 Premier League clubs are in for him. You know, Andres Pereira's also a liability. But also, Sanchez is also facing a dilemma himself because I don't know where his next club's going to be. Inter Milan are not going to get him permanently. We don't really want him back at Manchester United, but if he can't find another club, then we haven't really got a choice. We haven't really got a choice, have we? So we are going to get rid of quite a few players. Paul Pogba, there's still uncertainty over his future at the moment. You already know the news on Paul Pogba anyway, and that. But Solskjaer, to be fair, you know, has got rid of a lot of the deadwood, you know, since he got recommended in to the football club. Obviously, you know, we've got, you know, players out on loan as well as we've let players go permanently, and obviously, you know, we've got some players out on loan at the moment. Dean Henderson, he's out on loan at Sheffield United at the moment. Don't know what's going to be happening with him either. So, there you go. So, that's everything to update you today, guys. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.